Well, we've all heard of the trendy farm-to-table restaurants that are focused on serving locally sourced food. Now, families want to bring those values home with them. Backyard to Table allows them to have even more control over what goes into their family's meals. One of the greatest guys in the world I know, P. Allen Smith, says the key to living sustainably and growing food year-round is chickens. He's joining us now from New York City with more. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Tom. Good to talk to you this spring.
Yes, sir. Now, what are some of the why are so many families looking at raising chickens and growing their own food?
Well, I just think people are more and more interested in where their food comes from. They're also interested in the flavor differences that you can get from what you might buy from commercial sources, whether it's growing your own tomatoes in the backyard and fresh herbs, or even having a few hens to lay some gorgeous eggs. Just take a look at some of these, Tom. And I know you're a foodie and you love fresh food. There's nothing better than a homegrown or farm-grown egg.
Absolutely, and I see you've got the sign there, Tractor Supply Company. I understand there's going to be some chirping at all of those supply company destinations all around the country. Is that right?
Well, there is. For the whole month of April, it's called Chick Days, and you can go to Tractor Supply and you can find a whole range of chicks, all different breeds that will lay all these different kinds of eggs once they're mature. They also will help you get set up, raising your chicks up to maturity by, heat lamps, waterers, feeders, the bedding that the little chicks need, and also some valuable information from experts that they have on hand.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do we get started? A lot of folks here in the Lowcountry, they want to raise their own chicks. How many do we get? Exactly how we feed them and where they go. How do we get started on that?
Well, you really need to check in with your local municipality and see how many chickens you can keep. Typically, it's 3 to 5 in most cities. You can't have any roosters for obvious reasons, but you can have hens. Some of the breeds are quieter than others, like the little Japanese Silkie here is very, very quiet. This is a partridge Silkie. She's a bantam, very small, lays a small white egg. So you need to understand what the limitations are in terms of the number of birds you can have. And then it's just a matter of going to Tractor Supply, choosing a breed, getting the number of birds that you want, and get started raising them. It's really quite easy. Then once they mature, the pullets will begin laying about 8 to, well, depends on the breed, some of them 7 to 9 months, and then and depending on the breed, you can get 150 to 200 eggs from a single bird in a year. So you can see by just doing the math with 3 hens in the backyard, you'll have a lot of eggs to share with your family as well as your neighbors.
And keeping the chicks and then becoming chickens safe, how do we do that?
Well, you really want to make sure that as chicks, they're warm and protected. And then once they're fully feathered, you can begin to move them out as the temperature is warm and spring comes on. And then they'll grow into a mature bird. And then you're going to want some sort of coop system like you see behind. I tend to like to have at least 5 square feet per bird. And I like for mine to be able to get out and into a run and have grass and eat insects and things like that. You want to be able to lock them up at night because you want to keep them away from predators. Everything from raccoons, great horned owls, skunks and possums and stray dogs will go after them. So you just want to be able to lock them up at night.
Mr. P. Allen Smith, thank you so much. You've been here in the Charleston area for like 20 years. We appreciate you joining us here today. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
And we're back in just a moment, so stay with us.